Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I've got a great project for you. I'm going to demonstrate how to make these really easy and very quick to make curtain drapery panels. Now you can make it all one solid piece of fabric or use two by putting a small border up at the top. You can even have the option of putting on this decorative fringe. I used pom-poms, but you can use other things. I chose novelty fabric because it's a great option for children and teenagers' rooms, and it even looks great in kitchens. Now up here, up at the top, I have put on those clip-on drapery rings.
Is this going in our bedroom?
Oh, honey, don't worry. I promise a long time ago I would never put pink flamingos in our bedroom. Okay, everybody, let's get started. First step is to measure your window. So you want to measure the width and you want to measure the length. Now before we go into how much fabric you'll need, I want to go over the placement of your curtain rod. Usually the rod is placed 3 inches above the window, and then the brackets that hold the rod up are placed 3 inches on the outside of the window. If you want your drapes just to cover the window, then you need to add an additional 3 inches to fall below the window. So when you're measuring the width of your window, measure from 3 inches out across over to the other side, 3 inches out. And then if you want your curtains just to cover the window, measure from 3 inches here down to 3 inches below the window. Now, if you want your curtains to go all the way to the floor, then of course that's an additional amount of inches to add in. Or do you want to just make a little valance up here at the top? So once you've decided what all of that is, then take that width times 1.5 and add 1 inch for finishing off the edges, and then your length, add 7 inches for finishing off the edges and also for hemming. This is the fabric that I'm going to be using. This is the border up at the top, and then this is the main part of the curtains. Now this fabric is very girly, and it was meant to go into a girl's room up to maybe age 16 or 17. So I thought it was really cute fabric. The rings that I'm using are these clip-on rings by Dritz, and this fits rods up to 1 inch. And you can buy these at Walmart stores that have fabric and craft departments. Of course, you can get them at Joann's, and you can also get them on Amazon or any other internet fabric website store. One more option that you have is to use some sort of trim up on the seam area where the border and the fabric for the main part of the curtain are. Now remember, it's just an option. I'm going to use this pom-pom fringe in the seam that goes in between the two pieces of fabric. If you are going to use the pom-pom fringe on your curtain panel, you want to first stitch it on the upper edge of your panel before you attach your border fabric. Also start in about 3/4 of an inch from this side edge over here, because eventually we're going to be finishing this edge off and it will take up about 1/2 an inch. When you are stitching it on, stitch real close to this edge right here, and when you get to the other side, then of course stop 3/4 of an inch away from the other side edge. To attach your border fabric to the curtain panel, you want to bring front sides together and line this up on the raw edges together and place pins to hold. And I advise you to place the pins in between a pom-pom because it's kind of hard to place a pin right on top of that pom-pom. And go ahead and pin it all the way across. Then stitch right on the same stitch line that you used for stitching on the pom-pom fringe. In order for this fringe to lay straight down, you need to bring the seam towards the border fabric, the seam allowance area right here. And then on the top of the border fabric, you're going to stitch close to the ditch area here, and that's where both pieces of fabric meet each other. Don't stitch in there, but stitch just a little ways above all the way across, and this will keep the fringe pointing straight down. Up at the very top edge of the border fabric, I'm putting a strip of lightweight iron-on fusible interfacing, and this will give the top of the drapery curtain some body and also strength, so when the clips are on it, it won't tear your fabric. Now, to finish up the sides of each side of the drapery panel, take the raw edge and fold it in 1/4 of an inch and then press it with your iron all the way down. And then fold again 1/4 inch and press all the way down. And then doing a straight stitch on this inside fold right here, stitch close to that edge all the way down to the bottom. Do this on both sides of your drapery panel. Up at the very top edge of the border, fold the edge over 1/4 inch and press it all the way across. Then fold it over 1 1/4 inches and press again. Then place pins to hold, and then at your sewing machine, stitch close to this folded edge right down here all the way across. Before you hem your drapes, hang them up first to make sure that you have enough to hem the drape, or maybe you have too much fabric. So do that, hang it up, see how much you have. Then I like to make my hemming area about 3 to 4 inches wide. Okay, so how you would start that is first fold the bottom edge here over 1/4 of an inch and press all the way down. And then fold it again, the number of inches that you want to make it, then pin it down and then stitch real close to the edge all the way to the other side. After you've finished doing your hem, then the next step is to put the clip rings on. I usually will put one at each corner and then one in the very middle and then the other 2 in between, and of course on the other side put the other 2 and try to space them as evenly as you can, and then you're all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed making these curtains. Now, if you're interested in making curtains that are gathered and have a little ruffle up here at the top, then click on the link at the very end of the video. Now, if you like this video, click on the old thumbs up button down below. Also, click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right hand corner of your screen. I'm Cheryl and this is Manny. See you next time and happy sewing!